Hey there, it's Maury. Thanks so much for stopping by. I have a fun little project to share with you today that is kind of like a little card and gift all rolled into one. And I used a bunch of different products here for this project today, including a bunch of my favorite things dies, and I have these stitched rectangle dies that I used here. I just used one of the dies from this set, and it's just one that I used to create the little tiny rectangle pocket that I stuck the little lip balm packaging into. So this is the one that I used here, and you can just see on the bottom of the card there that I created a little pocket using that die. I also used a few other my favorite things dies. As I mentioned, I used this set of dies here. I actually used just the one on the left, and this is from the these are called the Tall Tag Duo. And I also used these rip strip dies. That, in fact, I just used the one. I used the shorter die there. And then I also used the lip balm window frame die set, and I used our replenishments that goes in that little frame as well. I used some of the stamps from this Lawn Fawn Jump for Joy stamp set. Here I'm just pointing out some of the ones that I used from that set. And I also used Simon Says stamp Hello Pumpkin. I used a couple of the smaller stamps from this set and then that little Hello Pumpkin sentiment there. And I also used the Simon Says stamp arched stitching borders. I used the one just with the scallop border. And I also have some Doodlebug supplies here that I used to embellish my card. This is from an older collection. This one's called Flea Market, and it has obviously a fall theme, which was what I was going for here with this project. And so those are the supplies. I also used a little bit of Stampin' Up! Ribbon, and this was just from my stash from a really long time ago. This is an old olive ribbon, and I really like it. I like the width of it, and it fits nicely into the top of that Tall Tag Duo. And this is my finished project here. So I'm just going to start off here with an A2 size card that I have created using some, I believe this is some Simon Says Stamp Audrey, perhaps, cardstock. And I am just going to take this Flea Market plaid paper, and I'm going to use that Tall Tag Duo die from my favorite things to cut out this shape. And that's going to be the base for my lip balm. So I'm just going to cut around that just roughly. I'm going to run that through my Big Shot, and you can see that that's going to fit nicely on my card front. And I'm just going to take a rip strip die, and I'm going to cut through that plaid paper plus another piece of white cardstock that's cut to the same size. And I'm going to just cut through those two layers just so that you can see now when they're all stuck together, I have a place where I can open up that in the back where my lip balm's going to be. Now I'm just taking my rectangle die here. I've already cut one large strip of orange, and then I just cut it again at the bottom so that I have a small little pocket that I'm going to adhere on three sides to the bottom of my card. And I'm going to just leave that top side open so that my little lip balm is going to fit into that little pocket. So far here I've got this little lip balm base where, so that tall tag is where that lip balm is going to be adhered to. So I'm going to take another pattern paper from Flea Market. This is just the other side of that plaid paper, and I'm going to cut a strip that is 1.5 inches wide. And I'm going to put some adhesive onto that using my ATG gun. I just want some adhesive that's really, really super strong. And I'm going to use this to cover the barrel of my lip balm. So this is just a little Lip Smackers or some type of lip balm. I think this is Lip Smackers, but I like to have just a kind of like a little stash of lip balms in my craft space, because I do like to make these just as really quick little gifts. And I'm just going to take that and cover that green lip balm with this teal paper. And that green matches the green that's in this paper really nicely, so I like that combination. Now I'm going to take that replenishments from my favorite things for the lip balm, And that little replenishment's just, obviously it's made to hold the lip balm, so it just works perfectly for this project. And I'm going to just take a 1/4 inch double-sided tape, and I'm going to put that onto the lip of that replenishment so that I can stick that down onto my tag. So I'm just going to take that release paper off the back of my adhesive, and I'm going to position this as high up onto the top of that tag as I possibly can without covering that little slot at the top, because I'm going to put my ribbon in that slot. So I'm just going to kind of center this from side to side, leaving that large piece at the bottom to slide into the pocket, and then you can see the rip strip on the back. So when the person is going to go and open up that lip balm, they can just tear off that rip strip at the back, and it will just be really super easy for them to get the lip balm out. Now this is the frame for that replenishment piece, and I'm just going to cut that frame out of just some patterned orange paper, and I'm going to put that around there just using a little bit of liquid adhesive. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to just embellish that little pocket on the front of my card. So I'm going to take a whole bunch of die cuts and stickers from the flea market collection, and I'm going to just stick them onto that little pocket, and I'm going to have the pumpkin on the front of the pocket just because it'll kind of go along with the sentiment that I'm using for this card. I could have used that little button on there as well. That would have been cute, but I decided that it was just kind of getting a little bit heavy already, and I like the way that it was looking without it. I'm going to take my anti-static powder tool there, my little anti-static pouch, and I'm going to just put that onto my cardstock here that I've cut with a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, stamped out my little sentiment here with some Versamark ink. And now I'm going to just use a little bit of black embossing powder to heat emboss my sentiment. So I'm just going to use my little Nuvo spoon here and spoon on some embossing powder. I'm going to melt that with my heat tool, and that will finish up my sentiment for me here. So I like how that looks. I think it just really makes it nice and crisp, and that will be the sentiment for the front of my card. So I'm just going to heat emboss that nicely there, get that all heated up. And I'm going to adhere that down to the front of my card. Before I do that though, I'm going to take just a variety of the little stamps that are in those 2 stamp sets, the Jump for Joy and Hello Pumpkin. And I'm going to just take my Versamark ink and do just a little kind of watermark stamp on the front of my card where that teal cardstock is, and it just, you know, adds a little bit of detail to the front of the card. And I'm just going to take that circle that has my sentiment on it, and I'm going to adhere that down to the front of my card, just using a little bit of adhesive here with my tape runner. And then I'm going to take another little die cut piece from the flea market collection and add that to the front as well. And I'm just going to move that over a little bit. I don't want it to overlap over the edge of the card. And I'm going to add a couple of little leaf stickers from that flea market sticker sheet. And that is almost it for the front of my card. In fact, I believe it is, other than the ribbon that I'm going to add. I'm going to add a couple of sentiments to the inside of my card. And it's going to say, "So thankful that we are friends." And that sentiment comes from that Jump for Joy set from Lawn Fawn. So now you can see there's my little piece. And that's going to be it for my card today. So thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I hope you were inspired to make a project that's fall themed perhaps, and just really fun, a little gift that would be really nice to give. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you another time. Bye-bye.